Hi, everybody. Today is the first podcast of She's New to America Pro, and I'm extremely happy to see you here, Azhar,
Thank you so
the
much.
only natural, the most amazing guest that I could think about is the founder of our community. Azhar, please introduce yourself and just say a couple of words about how did you come up with the idea to have this community?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoy having any opportunity to talk about our community. And I love to start this first conversation with you. Thank you so much for inviting me. She's New to America Pro was born as an idea early 2025. I would say I had this idea in my back of my mind when I moved to the US. I was thinking if there are any communities where I can join and talk about career, about ambition, but all other groups, chats, or female or woman lead communities, they were all about topics that are very important, but it's not about career. So we were talking about foods, like cuisines, like how to do makeup, how to do hair, nails, like fitness, everything, but not about career. And I felt a little bit lonely. And I was like, is there any community for immigrants where I can join and we can talk about ambition? We can talk about how to lead companies, how to be a leader. And then I was like, I think I will create one sometime. So I had this idea in my mind. And then 2025 in April, I moved in from California to Boise. I got married. I settled, and I was like, I think it is time to build something that will bring passion back. And this idea was like, I was thinking about it from April, May, June, July till August. And in August, I sent the message on Threads, like, how about to create a community for immigrant women who want to build their career in the US and corporate America. And I got 495
It
comments.
went
Yes.
viral. This is how I
And
saw it for the first time.
I was like, what me? I'm so about it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I got scared. I was like, oh my goodness, 500 ladies. What I'm going to do with them? I don't have any platform. I don't have any next steps. And I stepped back and I was like, I need to take some time and then bring some more structured approach to this idea. I didn't want to create another Telegram channel where everyone will talk about something and it's about nothing, right? So I was thinking that we need to create something that will help us to thrive and grow and achieve the goal. So in September, I went through Lovable Hackathon. And then after that, in October, we launched and I invited Maria Gordienko. She's a co-founder, and we started this community. So it's a long story, but I think we're building something that I was dreaming about.
This is amazing. And thank you so much for this community because this is what brought us together. And I really appreciate all of the hard work that you put into it and all of the events and now this podcast, hopefully delivering value to our beautiful ladies. And it's just amazing to see how it grows and how active the girls are. I think like you really hit that button, like that niche that was not occupied yet. Because when I moved 10 years ago, I also had been searching for somebody and some kind of a community to help me build a career. And I remember I signed up for a webinar and kind of purchased a course, and it was about like how to write your resume and stuff like that. And it was useful. It was good. I ended up landing a job. I think maybe partially because of that, but none of that really talked about our cultural differences, about the dynamics that we have as immigrants and as women. So that's that layer that we have that is very special. And I think like hitting that button, and now I'm seeing that, and why we record this in English, because I'm seeing that there is more and more interest from girls coming from other countries as well. So even though our common language with Azhar is Russian, we are speaking English right now in hopes that we will find even more girls joining us who's just in the beginning or maybe in the middle, maybe like thriving on this, very hard path, the immigrant corporate women
Yeah.
path.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing up that we want to be global. Like we want to be approachable, and we want to have this platform available for other women and from other countries as well. And I think speaking English, and as you notice, most of the ladies, they want to practice more speaking in English. And I think that's the good opportunity for them to start talking and speaking, like using our common language in the United States, English. Yeah. And then another thing I want to emphasize, that we want ladies like you, like yourself, will join our community because you're ambitious, you have your own vision how to grow and continue grow, and you already achieved certain level growing, like you're already in C-suite, and having community members as yourself can help us to make our community stronger, because right now it's maybe we have like 60 to 40%. So 60% of our community, they have experience working in the US, and 40% they're pretty brand new. They have experience here in the States, but they don't have experience in the US. And I think this mentorship program that we're building right now, it's another great opportunity to connect. And I always use this word in Russian, обогащать, means that make
And
richer, like improve ourselves. I think there is no same verb that we use in English. In English, we say like, oh, we strengthen each other, or we improve ourselves, or we make ourselves better. But in Russian, I think it's very like meaning is very fulfilling. Like it's обогащать. It's like making each other rich based on skill sets, like knowledge, expertise. And when we share, there is no like lose or win. There's a win-win. So who shares, lady, they gain a lot, as well as those who receive.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit. I know that we want to, and we will get to the main topic, but I think we can probably use this part also, like to talk about the community. Let's talk a little bit about all those events. Like you just mentioned, I was there yesterday. There was a mentorship program which just was kicked off. It was a very successful beginning, thanks to the girls were also leading. Like, as I understood, they joined from the same threads. Probably nobody knew each other. And now everybody is contributing something. And as someone who is a mentor, and I got 2 mentees, but I also signed up as a mentee to Maria, so she's my mentor. The very interesting part of that, just like you said, being fulfilled, not only when we ask, but also when we share. Like when you get to a certain level, you think like, oh, she's over there, but it's not exactly right, because if we do not share, if we just keep it within ourselves and we do not help further, this is where our energy might, get a little bit dimmer, and just by passing the light and passing the knowledge to the next person in line, this is how we grow ourselves. So how did you come up with the idea about the mentorship, and where we stand there right now? Can you tell?
Love this question. And you did absolutely right notice about that. The program leader, she is a community member, and she joined 3 months ago. She is one of the first members, founding member, Annie. And so again, back to the thinking, like back to the foundation of a community. We want to build a platform where women will have an opportunity to grow and bring their ideas into life. So, and our mission is like take up the space without asking for permission. It's the place for immigrant women who can take up the space without asking for permission. And this mission was born when I was part of the Lovable Hackathon. I was thinking about it. I mean, about permission and everything. I bring all the time this example that women have this, I would say, it's the right word, I think, thought, maybe like something that a statement in the mind that blocked women to do something without asking for permission. So we always ask permission. Can I do this?
And we wait, and we
And we
wait. We
wait.
wait for the best moment.
Yes,
Like,
when
hold
someone
on,
will be like,
it's not
yes,
the right moment. Just in a little bit. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah.
100%. And 214 women from all other countries, like all across the globe, they were acting the same. They were asking like, may I do this? May I create this app? May I push this button? And Elena Verna, she's growth of Lovable. She says like, listen, it's what I notice that men never ask for permission. They will they will break, and they will ask for forgiveness, but not for permission. Let's learn from them. And I was like, that's so interesting. Why we need this permission? Why we need to be like waiting for someone who will tell us to do something? So we brought this idea and we dig deeper. We got this mission statement, and then I was like, okay, I want to have a place where this ambitious women will have the place to create their idea and bring into the life. And we will be here to support this. Like, we will be here to give all kind of tools, advice, and just give them this opportunity to fully enjoy leading some projects and programs and leadership, etc., etc. So there is no other way to build up a leadership skill as like practicing. And Ani, she was one of the first community members, and she's like, how about are we going to have a mentorship program? Because I think it's a great idea. I was like, it is a great idea. How about you will be taking a lead without asking for permission? And she's like,
because
whoa,
I'm not
whoa,
here to
whoa.
tell you no. Just go ahead.
Yes. She's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's very ambitious. And it took some time. She brought this idea in, I think, early November, and then we worked about it in November, December, and she did a tremendous work to building and bringing all her knowledge and her ideas into life, and she got support from our community. And yesterday we did kick off, and I was like, yes, this time happened, and I want this to be as a best practice, as an example for us that yes, it is possible. You have an idea, bring it to the table. We will be here for you. We will support you, and we will do everything as possible as far as this idea supports our mission.
I love it. I love it because that provides a safe space for everybody to actually practice their leadership skills. And maybe not everyone right now has the right conditions at work, maybe where they can shine, but within the community, leading projects like that, like you said, it's like a muscle, right? So you can practice it and you can become stronger. And now I'm seeing girls with this LinkedIn challenge, like putting together my new skills, leadership, my new skill, community management. And like this is how we learn. Like we learn by doing. We're not learning by studying. We have to build it into practice. And just like right now as well, this podcast, like the first time we're recording right away in English, we're like, okay, let's just do it. Let's see. Let's do it. Let's break some things, you know?
Yeah, we are here. We have everything already available. Why not? We got beautiful microphones, and you have such a beautiful setup. Like, we need to do something with this.
It took me more than an hour to put my setup together. I was like, oh my gosh, I was so late. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Now it seems like I need to reinstall all of the apps on my computer. But that's the thing. That's where, we break some things, we made a mistake, and that's fine. That's fine.
Right.
Life does not stop if we maybe had some fault. And I think again, with many women, it's some kind of catastrophic thinking. My gosh, and that's something that fear that lives with a lot of us. Maybe that's why we're asking for permission, that if something goes wrong, it's like the end of the world.
Yeah.
And usually it's not.
Yeah.
And by doing that, just leading and doing the public speaking, which I was listening yesterday to Ani, and compared to a couple of other meetings that I also heard her speaking, I can hear this improvement, it's getting better and better. There's a little bit less apologists this time. So
Yeah,
that was
I
great.
noticed that. Wow.
Yeah.
I noticed that too. She was very careful to express herself fully at the beginning. And yesterday she was shining. I think she was in exactly that place where we want to see our community, like all our beautiful ladies. We have 250 beautiful, wonderful, talented, ambitious ladies, and I want to see them shining and being their best. So that's my dream when we get testimonials like, yes, I did this in the community and now I brought this idea in my corporate world and I got promotion, I got raise, I got new job, I got something better than I had in the past. So that transformation will ignite the fire. Like I will be like, yeah, we're doing the right thing, because changing lives is more important than just, I don't know, any course or anything that we can offer, right?
And yeah, like kind of work with those blockers and start breaking them little by little. We as women at work, we always like experience the glass ceiling, whatever they say. You know, there's not so many female CEOs, even though there is more and more in the leadership. And there are some research showing that the companies that are led by women are actually more successful. You know, you can Google it.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And it makes sense because, I mean, when I'm thinking about what makes female leadership different from male leadership, usually where it takes me is the how we actually take care of the teams. I think women are more community driven rather than usually in my experience, and which is beautiful, amazing. They have the skill of well being individualistic and stronger about like himself or his like maybe small circle, small tribe, rather than we as women usually we think about like everybody. Are you okay? Are you okay? Over there, that guy, like you know, on that desk, is he okay? And that's something that we can really practice more. And that's why I wanted to get to the topic of our discussion. That was a very little bit like lengthy intro. Let's keep it this way. It was beautiful. So today we actually wanted to talk about team dynamics and what does that even mean? What is a team dynamics? We talk about a lot about like our personality types, about how we feel, who we are. But whenever we think about how that really gets to work, it's always in the communication with other people.
Right.
So, you know, it can be, let's say, a soccer game, but it's not going to be a game if there is no team. Right? It's just going to be one guy with a ball. So I really believe that most conflicts at work, they happen just because people misunderstand each other. So it's not a conversation about skills. It's not about conversation about somebody is bad at their job, not because someone doesn't care, but it's more about like misreading the behavior. And we might think like someone is slow, rude, or even aggressive, even though even though it was just a different communication style. So I want to ask you, in your experience in your work, can you tell me what the team dynamics really mean for you? How would you describe why is that an important topic and why we landed on this in terms of again trying to bring the value to our listeners, to the Citizen to America Pro community members? What does it mean to you? And maybe you can tell a little bit about your career as well, how you came to the realization, what you thought before, and what you're thinking now.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good question. And you did absolutely great. You brought absolutely great example about like one soccer player will not win the game. And teams are important. And in my background, like working with the teams and leading teams, like divided into two, right? Before the United States and in the United States. So before United States, I worked for a European company, headquartered in Amsterdam, but it was a large telecom company, Beeline, and in headquarter Vion. So we had a lot of HR strategies, people operations coming from Europe. And Europe, I noticed that the difference is that they do care a lot about like how they work each other. Like, what's the how do they can use team members' strength and their abilities. And again, maybe they, I don't know, it's just the example. Maybe if I worked for at a company, I would get the same impression. But our company, they invested a lot to identify our skill sets and give managers and leaders tools that will help them to build their teams based on their strength, not just the professional skill sets. So strength at their personal strength, the way what they think is important in their workplace. And with a different test, we worked with professionals who helped us to, okay, you're working in a project, even though you, for example, I was responsible for internal communications and I am in the team, but my strength that I want to finish everything. For me, it's very important to make sure that we're not leaving like open tasks somewhere. And I was like struggling with everyone, like why we have like 150 open items and we continue generating other ideas. We need to finish those. Like my manager, she's like, yeah, it seems like you love finishing. Like I am the one who not just bring the idea, but I love to make sure that we either close or we just give it up. Like, okay, we're not going to do this. But we need to make this decision. We can't have this long tail with all open tasks. And then my manager, she was able to use this natural desire to finish tasks. And I was responsible in the team to make sure that we're cleaning all the tasks each quarter and we're like giving up or we are moving forward. That was like wonderful.
But was it in your job description or was it something that brought you joy?
That brought me joy. I wasn't responsible for making all the projects done. It was something that was like, I took it and I worked on this. Another example, when I led the team of 5, it was easier, I would say, because I was able to build a team from scratch. So we started building the new call center and I was responsible for outbound sales. So it's a telemarketing. I think people know it back that time. And
that's a tough job.
Yeah, that was like long time ago.
Come on.
And selling over the phone, I was the one who was beating everyone, selling on the phone, like over phone and selling all kind of services. And they're like, okay, you're going to have like team of 100, but you will have 5 managers. It's your call. You can hire based on who you need. And I did the same. I was like, okay, I need analytics. I need some diplomats, people who will be talking to other people, who will be training them, like who will be very careful with their souls, like I would say. And then those who can help me to move this project along.
Like a very intentional team setup where you define not only the roles, but also the personality types that would contribute into the best performance of that job, correct?
Yes. And I did this 5 people I choose specifically based on like whom I need, like who will help me to, and I try to get people not in the same area. Like they had about the same, they're young, like it's call center. Like what's the professional skills you would expect from people who work in call center? But we were like fire. We sold a lot of things. We hit all kind of revenue goals because we were like we were like super team. So I think finding right people in the team, having understanding their personal ambitions and understanding their personal characteristics help to reach the goal for the company and keep them happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like that really resonates with me how intentional that setup was. I love thinking about not only just like, okay, we have to hire these certain roles, these are the job descriptions, and these are the tasks. but also think about who you bring into the team and how they're going to complement who you already have, and how they're going to be handling your communication style as a manager. That's very important as well. And before we started the podcast, you told me that at one of your jobs or workplace, you ran the test. That was a 16 personality test, right?
Yes.
And you found out what?
I love this story. Thanks so much for bringing this up. So I moved to the US. I started working here, and then I joined the team, and the company is not the same like large corporate. It was a smaller team. It's like, why we don't have the same test? I think I had this thought that it can help to my manager to see like who is in the team, like what we can do. And we did the test. It's a team of 5.
When you run the test, like what were you thinking? You were thinking it's going to be a lot of different people.
Yes, I was so curious, and then they were printing out the results. We entered to the conference room, and they're like, "Okay, who's gonna be first?" And they're like, "Okay, I'm a protagonist, like NNTFJ." Okay, was like one protagonist, yeah. And then the second was, I am protagonist too. And then everyone in the team, besides one lady, we all were protagonists. And then we were like, what's going on here? And we looked at our manager, and he's like, it's me.
You know, it's funny, Azhar. I have exactly the same story. So I am an NTJ, and we've been hiring people. We actually do those tests a little bit just after we do the short lists and before the first screening call. So if we do like the resume and the profile, after the screening call, we send them 3 tests. So one test is a Maslow pyramid. Another one is a DISC personality test, and the third one is a Myers-Briggs. And what do you think? Most of the people that come to the final round, they are ENTJ. And I was thinking it's an entrepreneurial type. It's a director. It's a commander. I believe it's called a commander. So, and we are a company full of commanders. And somehow, I think what really it shows is the culture of the company, right? So if we attract the people of the same type, so it actually aligns with what we at our company do. We are trying to build this intrapreneur, we call them, like entrepreneurs within the organization, like inside the organization, intrapreneurs, and people who really can take accountability, and we're trying to give them enough resources and possibilities to reach their goals. And then my recruiter, she says, did you know there's only 2% of people in the whole world who are ENTJ? I'm like, well, I guess like we have like half of them here.
Yeah. So when you get this test, did they so you identified that they're all in one personality type. Did you hire them, or you were like, what's the next step?
It depends. I mean, of course, personality test is not, it does not play the big role in making a decision about hiring somebody.
It's not a deal breaker.
Like, clearing up the air. Yeah. It's a little bit like horoscope. Yeah. But it's just more like interesting to know, right? And interesting to see. Anyway, so we do not make decisions based on personality tests. Never. Of course, it's the skills going on. But I would say that when I, create my teams, again, I'm asking like, what is that role? What kind of person? What kind of personality it would have fit it best? So I'm thinking that way. Like if it's a people person, let's say in general, I want to see more of the F types, like people with more empathy, people who are more communicative, extroverts. If it is more analytical role, that's going to be the introverts, the INTP kind of people. But it's not like I'm picking them. It's usually actually comes within. And those ENTJs, we have like, more of managerial type. And yeah, a lot of managers are ENTJ.
Yeah, apparently. Analytical commanders. Yes, yes. It does
Yeah.
make sense.
But I think what's important here is really, how you said, like, need to know my superpower. You said, oh,
Uh-huh.
it brings me joy to to check those
Yeah.
to-do lists. Oh my gosh, I need to clean it up. I can relate. I'm the same person. I'm like, please finish, finish, finish. Execution first, right?
Yes.
So that's your superpower, and you know about it. And that was so amazing that you were helped to see it, and actually, just like what we did in the commission, like you were given a chance to perform it, even though it was not like your official job duty, right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
these superpowers, like how important it is to know yourself first
Mhm.
before you're making decisions about making judgments about any other people. How do you think? Why is that important? And how to achieve this level of emotional intelligence, really, like, and self-assessment, I guess. What would be like your advice on how to understand what is that my superpower?
I love this. I love this question. Thank you so much. I think people will start understanding themselves when they talk more to others. So as more we interact with other people and see what's their perception during this conversation about me. So it's hard to find, okay, I would say like my recipe. It's hard to find ourselves just sitting and thinking about ourselves, being like not long, like sitting like alone, right? And trying to understand who I am. We learn about ourselves when we interact with others. We talk to other people. We talk different kind of people and see like, is it how I feel? Is it comfortable to me just approach absolutely unfamiliar someone? Is it what I think? And another thing what helped me is traveling. So I traveled a lot and I found myself that I'm very easy going. I can talk to anyone. I can talk to elders. I can talk to young people. And it's like, yeah, that's my strength. I think I'm comfortable and people take me. They feel safe next to me.
Yeah. And it makes you happy, right?
Yeah. Like, I have a friend. She is 89 and we're like really good friends. I would not
It's an American friend.
She is Ukrainian, but she lives in the United States. And she became like not my grandma. No, we are friends. And I have another friend. She is 15 or 16. Like she's growing, and it's a different ages. And it's like I think I can be a very good friend. I can have relationship with different kind of people with different background, and that I
Yeah.
learned about myself while I was interacting with others. And what I would advise and recommend to others to give it a chance, like give it a chance to talk to others, try different roles. Like even, for example, I never thought I'm going to be a founder of community. I was like, what's community? It's not
Why did I post that thread in the middle
yeah,
of the night? Can I do it?
I would never think like, I would never dream about it. It wasn't like, I thought about that I will create something and we will have like 20, 30 people, like close, like-minded ladies. I was thinking about like smaller, like maybe 50 max, like maybe 30 local. We will meet, like we will talk, we will be friends. And then it's like over the sudden 250. I was like, I think this is that I can do. Like I can be the person who can connect different people.
Right. Because you already know that you have that superpower. You can be friends with like
Yeah.
people from very different backgrounds. And I wonder why do you think that is? Is that your cultural background or your upbringing or education, like, or maybe you've seen lots of countries? Like, why do you think that is?
Yeah, my mom. So I think I didn't ask about it, but my mom always brings this up. When I was a kid, I was very friendly. She says, since 3, I was like, if I went out to talk, I will find friends. Like she's like, you go and you get like a lot of candies, like something that you will be just walking outside the door and bringing like these bags of candies.
It just
like
happens.
yeah,
Yeah, like life started happening.
yeah, and then you always bring something, and people like you. They loved you. They give like stuff, and it's like. And then my mom, she says, I started noticing what you do, and I approach any kind of like any group of people, and I will start singing.
That's so cute. You'll be like, "Hey, I'm Azhar. I'm gonna sing you this song."
I sing, and then I will be like hugging them, and then writing, and then playing. Again, that time was pretty safe and good thing. Thank God it was safe. Like this kind of kid was dangerous, and nowadays, but I was like this. I think it's something that I was born with. And I try to keep myself like open for my nature. So I am very friendly. I love people. I love spending time with people. And I remember another period of time when I was a teenager, and we did a lot of concerts. I gathered all our neighbors, like all kids. They were coming. We were singing, like dancing, doing this all concerts. And then anytime when my mom brought like candies, I would go up to, we were living at the apartments, fourth floor store, and then I was like throwing this candies.
Candy angel, here you go, everybody, get a candy.
And they were like, give me more, everything, whatever, was just sharing with others. That was me. And I think what I try to do, and it's I think the good advice for everyone, just bring ourselves to childhood, like being a kid, like what was the nature, like how we were created. So just use it, and it's your superpower.
Yeah, absolutely. I can agree with that. That's so beautiful. That was partially the reason why I wanted to get the podcast, because when I was a small girl,
yeah, more.
I was so I started like printing out a family newspaper. It was called the Munch, because I used to learn French back then. And it was just about like little things that happen in our family, which is my dad, my mom, and I. So it would be like very small things, but I would like, put some cartoons over there, and I wrote it all with my pen. It was handwritten, all beautiful. So I've been printing a newspaper when I was about 9, 10 years old. So I always wanted to be a journalist, and I graduated the Faculty of Journalism from Moscow State University. But then somehow, like, life being open to new opportunities, and just even if I would even like say like that, when I feel fear, usually I do it. Like, okay, I'm scared. Good. That means I need to do it. Like, I'm scared shitless, like, but I'm gonna go and do it, because that's how we grow. And that's how like life started kind of, again, life is life thing. And I think one part of that is, like you said, the natural superpowers, like what we can assess when we think about who we are, what brings us joy from the very, very small age. Another one, I think, is like when we overcome the challenges and start practicing something that maybe we are not naturally inclined to do that. But then once you're doing stuff, and especially when you're scared and you're still doing it, you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm not so bad at it.
That's powerful. I love that you can go to your fear, and it's the call, like, okay, it scares me, I will go and I'll do that. This is so cool. I'm gonna practice.
Like, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna practice that. I'm gonna take this as a next step. I was like, what makes me scared? I think to write email to someone that I was thinking about.
Azhar, I was kind of stalking your threads before we met, and I saw that you sent birthday messages to, I think it was to Alex Hormozy.
You did?
It's right there on the internet. And I was like, oh, interesting. So she sends like messages to like celebrity people. maybe that's what you mean, like, write emails to strangers.
Send emails to celebrities.
I read about this. Like, someone said, well, I was just like, I was drunk at night, and I And I was texting on like Justin Bieber Instagram or something, and they replied.
No way.
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of a joke, but
Yeah.
it's definitely like something. If it scares you, you do it, and I think that's one of the indicators. So one is happiness, like oh, it fills me with joy. Like I feel natural. I feel energized. Another one is like, oh, I'm scared, but I'm still doing it. So I think to me, those are two things. But like going back to, talking about superpowers, right? And I think it's very important to think whenever we are in a community and teams at work is a community, it's a ecosystem, where we need to figure out how to adapt, how to be flexible. It's important to have this disposition that I'm not here to change people. I'm not here to change who you are, but I'm here to adapt to you. But what's important is that both of the people need to think the same way.
Uh-huh.
So it
Uh-huh.
does not become in like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, there's only one person and everybody like adapts to them. No, you have to be open to adapt to each other. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like a culture. I think it's a culture of collaboration, of
Mhm.
openness. And at least that's something that I am trying to build at my work. And I know that's what you're trying to build in the community as well. Do you think you had examples of where when you joined, maybe the culture was one thing or you were
Uh-huh.
sold on something, and then during the period of time that you work, or it can be something else, maybe from personal life, it changed. And like, why do you think like if that happened, like why do you think that happens?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I have a few examples when I joined to the team and then the dynamic changed, and when someone joined to our team and something like started happening as well.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
the first example, when I joined to the team was very mild. Like they were not in a hurry at all, like very
Uh,
comfortable. And
Let me guess, was it in Europe?
it was in the United States. But the team was very comfortable. It was
Uh-huh.
saying like comfortable is just saying that people like every meeting we would be sharing the same thing. Like, and I started noticing that we're not moving anywhere. We're doing all the time same thing. It's so comfortable just to forget it. Like forget about that you're working on something like huge and
Mhm.
something ambitious that will drive your
Uh-huh.
blood. Like you will be like,
Uh-huh.
yes, I want to achieve this.
Uh-huh.
And the manager who hired me, she's like, I hired you because I see that you're a driver. You have this passion. I want to see this passion in my team. Like, what do you think? How we can do this?
Mhm.
Like, yeah. And she says, you can do, like, you can bring any ideas. You want to change the way how we work. If you want to get the different dashboards where we will be like
Uh-huh.
sharing our like goals and like just
Uh-huh.
bring this to the table. I will help you to like leverage. I will be the leverage who will help you
Uh-huh.
to get this done.
So she was your manager, and then you had a team to manage, correct?
She was the manager of all of us.
Okay.
I wasn't a manager. I
Uh,
wanted a
Hold on,
team
hold
member.
on. You were
Yeah.
hired not as a manager, and then you were assigned a managerial job that the manager was supposed to do. Excuse me.
Excuse me, yes. But since it was my first like working in a small and medium size, it was a large corporate. And I was like, okay, that's the challenge. I love this. I can do this. I can take it as a project and it will help me to get to the next level because I've never
Uh-huh.
had a managerial position in the United States. I had in the
Uh-huh.
past, like previously before when I come to the States. I was like, I'll do that. And I started bringing all kind of ideas. We were like building different dashboards and I was really like in the position that like informal, like I can show how it can be done. So
Uh-huh.
I was the one. And first 2 months, like team, they were like, we don't like you. Like, why you do that? you, no
Leave
one
us
asked you.
alone.
Yeah. They were like, we don't like you. We don't like
Who
that
are
you,
you?
yeah, who are you? Why you do this? Like, and then they started seeing that it's fun, that you achieve something. And I changed the approach that it's not something that you will show to your manager. It's something that you will be proud of. It helps you
Yourself.
to
Mm.
grow, and you can, and then we started changing this culture. We talked a lot, and then one guy, he got promoted to another company to the higher position because he had this such a good like portfolio already. Another girl, she left because she didn't like that. So she was
Okay.
like, I don't like this
Totally
dynamic.
fine.
Yeah,
Not
that's
for
fine.
everybody. Good.
It's a different dynamic. And then I was the one who interviewed new team members. And then this team became from mild, like from very slow and chill, to very high performing team. So, and this manager, she got a new job. She got promoted. My manager, she got promoted,
Did you get promoted, girl?
she took me with her to
Okay.
to the new company. And that was,
Ooh.
and I got like definitely got higher title. And it was a very, I would say, great example for myself that sometimes we need to take more than we do a title.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
and there was like great example that I didn't look at the other job, but while I was doing this, was in consulting. My consulting firm, they like, oh, you did a great job. We can offer you promotion because you already did this, and like a client is happy, and they're like, they loved you. And I got here promotion, and then this manager, she was like, okay, you can come to work for me. And they were like this back to back last year. Like I had 2 job offers, and I chose the one who gave me better options.
Yeah, no, that's so nice. Absolutely. I think like what's important really, what you said is always titles don't mean a thing. If you're in a healthy space, again, if you're in a healthy space, and I think you were in a healthy space, just showing more, taking on more accountability, taking on more tasks, and shining through, we call it managing by influence rather than managing by authority. And that's a very, very important skill to learn. Even if you do not have a title, you still can be there in your smaller team. You can become the leader, informal leader. And especially it's great if the company is doing kind of 360 reviews and then your teammates would always, name you the hero, the goat, the person who was helping them a lot. That's something that your managers can see, or a manager of a manager can see, because like in your example, right, you did not stand in this position like, give me the title first, then I do the work.
Yeah.
No, first you deliver, you change the team dynamic. And I think what is amazing in your example is that your team members also got better offers, and they got actually better skills just by this experiment where you were like, okay, let me try it. I
have a lot of energy.
I love it. I love it. But it's just very, very important to note to anybody who's listening to us, to everyone, that you should always keep track of what you've done.
Yes.
And you always advocate for yourself. Like, do not be that person who's becoming like the scapegoat and is doing all the work and then somebody else taking all the credit. No, no, no. This is where we draw the line, right?
Yeah. I love this point that for guests that sometimes we have like, we can go to from one edge to another edge, like being like, oh, no, very protective. I'm not going to do this. It's not on my scope, and not getting any other opportunities. And sometimes like doing all the job and then not growing because people will start taking advantage that you're taking off the work to yourself. And yeah, I agree that I would say, I would advise do the job or the projects that visible for leadership. Don't do the one that will take up your time and you will be like, who did this? It doesn't matter if you do, if you don't, like no one will care. So never involved to this kind of jobs,
Yeah.
like say no.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if there's something that will be like on the radar of leadership, I would be like, get to this project, be visible,
Yes.
talk, like pitch, like even though it's not your responsibility, something that will be like in the area where people can see
Yeah.
where we
And I
want to
think it's
invest.
important, like, always to have just like a hypothesis. Like you said, like we need to close all of the projects. If you're seeing that this kind of approach might not be working, that's also important to tell you to stop yourself to stop. If, I don't know, it's happened over a course of 6 months or something, nothing's happening, you're not being like, no one, this is like, you have to make sure that the environment is healthy to really, start producing that. And yes, the right approach is actually get your team members on board, because now you're not even alone in this. Like, now you have a full power, and those people become your advocates. So that's how important it is, not just the individual contribution, but also the team members, like being on the same mindset. At my work, I also have a very amazing, strong manager who was able to turn this mindset, the energy of her department, and now they're like over delivering. They're doing so amazing. Everybody is so happy over there. We're just like, oh my gosh. And that was also the first time she's ever done, and I saw the potential, and she was scared. She was scared, and I just told her, like, look, you can do it. Just go ahead and do it. She did.
Yeah, having the support, I think, is very important. Like when someone says, like, you can do it,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
do
it's so important, especially for women, especially for doing the first time. Like,
it.
I
Yeah.
believe in you. Like, somebody would tell you, hey, I know you can do it. And even if you think you can do it, but somebody's telling you that you
Yeah.
can, you're like, oh, okay. No, I
Okay.
guess I have to.
So I'm so curious to learn more about your experience, how you get your chief, like this position. I know I mean, if you can just give a little sneak peek, like about your background, like, because, right, I'm thinking that you're in a C level and you grew tremendously and you're here like only 10 years. Like, I know a lot of people, they're like in the States, like 20 like years, but they're not there yet. So what did help you, and how did you do this? Like, how did you get into the next level? I'm very, very curious. I want to learn more.
The answer is, I was just taking more and more and more. I'm just this person who needs more than anybody else, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
So whenever there is an opportunity, and you see in that opportunity, for example, like I grew within one company, right? When I joined them, my job was like assistant, marketing assistant. That was the job title. We didn't really have like organizational structure. We didn't have so many people. So I grew with the company, right?
Yeah.
So basically what happened is that I saw opportunities. I saw, like, hey, why are we still not doing this, like retention, the marketing retention of the clients? I'm like, I know how to do it. Let's do it. Like, let's set up the emails. Let's set up SMS. Let's do newsletters. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then unfortunately, whenever I start talking, I guess I don't stop. And then I end up being the one doing it. So I'm like, oh. And but it excites me. It excites me because every time I learn something else. And then as we were building up, my CEO was building up the organizational chart. I started seeing opportunities in other blocks. Like, at some point, I got interested in a product, and I wanted to be like more of a product manager. So I got my certification. I got some education from Kazakh University, Northwestern University of Management. And I was like, can I please build a product team in our company? She's like, and what you guys going to be doing? I'm like, well, we're going to be doing, the website, the app, like everything. So everything that I wanted to do it personally, but I also saw the big opportunity for the company. And my CEO and founder, he's really great. He said, oh, okay, look, I know you can do it. I believe in you. And he said, and that's a very, very cool thing that I'm doing as well. He said, why don't we call some experts and they're going to become like consultants or mentors or trackers, right, for you as you do it, because it's the first time. There's a bunch of investment that I'm making into this. So, and that's what we did. And that was great because like having someone who already did it before, and there was a great guy, head of product, like I think right now he's founded like a few companies, and he like took my hand and he said, okay, this is how we do it. So this is how you're going to be doing the presentations. This is how we're doing the Jira task managers. This is how you do like the development part, etc., etc. So that was awesome. And then the product team, then it was a restructuring of marketing, and then it was building up the people block, people operations, and then the very last of it was the biggest block I haven't touched yet, was the actual operations of the company. So I'm like, okay, let me do that. And with all of that, like kind of building up more experience now. I see myself as a person who can jump in the organization to pretty much any point because I'm seeing like
Big
the
picture.
whole picture now. And that makes somebody really invaluable. A lot of times like people would think, oh, job security. If I'm gonna be, let's say, replacing myself, then I'm not gonna be needed. But I think exactly the opposite way will lead to your promotions, because by replacing your qualities and like cloning yourself and keeping that person right there where you are able to jump higher, you're able to move to the left, to the right, to the top. And I think that was something that really helped me, that I never was worried about staying in one place, even when it was comfortable. I was like, oh, head of product, that's great. Like you can stay there a long, long time. But I was like, I'm better gonna find somebody else, put there, and then I can do another one, another one. And that's how the teams got built, I guess, if that makes sense. I would not recommend to be scared to replace yourself. And that's a little scandalous advice, but I believe in it.
Yeah, I love the way how you shared that you replace yourself, then you move to another position where you like to be. This is very powerful.
Yeah, and I think like that personal, energy has to be there. Like it has to bring you joy, what you do. That's like non-negotiable for me. So if right now it's more about, let's say, communications, I'm going to be finding opportunities to do communications, because otherwise, and I think it's just different people though. Like again, speaking of personality types, there are a lot of, let's say we call them change and run. Have you heard of that split?
Yes.
Change and run.
Change and run.
And both are very valuable, but we always are leaning more to one side. So I know about myself, I am a change, 100%. I'm a builder. I like to build. Put it there. I don't want to build. I want to build, right? I don't want to stay and make it better. And there are other people who are more on the runners or maintainers, and they're amazing and improving and making like little things better, and they can stay there and then they thrive. And that's about, again, like, do not change yourself, do not betray who you are. If you've more of a change, probably you're just not going to excel at your run job, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So be honest to yourself.
Yeah, I love change. I love transformation. And yeah, I'm hearing you. This is so powerful. So I'm hearing a lot from our community who like jumping from one role to another role and helping and taking a lot to the plate, especially in smaller organizations. Like how to not end up staying in the position when they pay the same. They don't change your salary. They don't change your title. How to advocate, self-advocate and negotiate this, not losing the job, like not being aggressive with the company owner.
Thank you. Well, first of all, you have to advocate for yourself. Like I said, keep track of everything you've been doing. Like write it down, put it there, make a beautiful presentation. This is what I've been done. This is what was successful. Second, very important, always tie your results to the main metrics. So the main
Mm,
metrics of your company is, let's say, sales. Well, you have to improve sales. You have to really be able to prove that you are moving the needle in the organization. So whatever your real output metric is, you have to find out what it is. In the end of the day, all of this, it goes to top line, it goes to EBITDA and net profit. So you
right,
either increase sales, either you helping cost saving. It's somewhere on the P&L. My advice, always find your place on P&L, because
mhm,
when we as managers look at people, we look through the lens of numbers.
right,
How maybe sad it sounds, but it's a profit and loss statement. And
right,
each department has its number. Each person has its number. And like, when those huge layoffs happen, that's how they happen.
mhm,
Nobody looks at who that was. They look at overall P&L health. So please find that place where you move in the needle. Come to me and say, like, Luba, because of this and that project, I
mhm,
was able to raise this metric X%. So that's
mhm,
very important. And another thing is always have a deadline.
mhm.
It's like you said, do not become that person that everybody relies on and nobody really
Yeah,
sees what you're doing. Just like in your example, I think you were lucky. You were in a healthier environment. Even
yeah,
though I don't know like when she left, but okay, when both of you left. But but she still recognized you, right? And in many places that might not happen. So you have to have a deadline and you have to tell yourself, like, this is my hypothesis. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be tracking what I'm doing. I'm going to be advocating for myself. I'm going to be showing all the metrics that I'm helping improve. I'm going to be doing my best job,
mhm,
but this is 6 months, 6 months.
mhm,
And go to your manager. Go to your manager and talk to them. Ask them for feedback. What is that I should be doing better? If you were in my shoes, what would you do? How can I help you save your time and perform your job better?
right,
And I think that's in the case if it's the decision maker. Like you want to be
mhm,
talking to a decision maker. If the decision made 1 or 2 levels higher, you want to get there.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
Don't waste your time too much on like someone who does not make decisions.
mm,
Always
mhm,
go to the decision maker, even if it's like maybe a party or something informal. Get your way up there. Talk to
mhm,
the right person, because you might be saying all the right things,
right.
but if you're talking to somebody who does not make decisions, you're just wasting
It's so powerful. Now I'm thinking that we need to have you as a speaker.
I just surprised myself. I think it just like went over my head, like, whew, okay.
Yeah.
No, no, yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
thank
so
you.
so true and so powerful because I know that yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Because I was blessed and lucky with
Yeah.
a very, very good manager that she didn't just take advantage of me, but she helped me to grow. But in the world where I see a lot of ladies that they're working so hard and they're
Mhm.
getting like a lot of things done, but nothing is happening. And
Oh,
they're
yeah, because when their manager took to take to talk
yeah,
to their manager, her name probably does not sound in
yeah.
that conversation. It's all
Mm-hmm.
I. So
Yeah.
be mindful, and I've seen it a
Oof.
lot with women,
Yeah.
especially. Yeah, like,
Wow.
yeah, like
Like,
it's me,
excuse
me, me.
me, advocate women.
Let's help women. Women help
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to
And
have
another
better
thing,
women.
like, Azhar, coming back to the topic, I think this communication style is so important, especially if
Mhm.
you work in an American company. I wanted to mention this book that really made such a huge impression on me and helped me a lot in navigating the corporate world is The Culture Map by Erin Meyer.
Okay.
Have you heard of that? Culture
No.
Map?
What's your
She
mom?
used to work for Netflix and she
Really?
I think she was in people operations, and she wrote this amazing book, The Culture Map. It's pretty much she looked at everyone through the lens of their different culture, and she put it on the graph where she looked where what nations are more into direct or indirect communication. Is the feedback explicit or implicit? Does the context matter or not? Does emotions matter or not? And you're going to be surprised like what she found out. And I think it answers so many questions that our girls, our cultures might have, because American way of talking in the workplace is so different from what we are used to. And by we, I mean like post USSR countries, right? Even over there, we're very different, right? Like there's difference between Russians, Ukrainians, and Middle Asian countries like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan, etc. So what she found out, and I really recommend this book to read this book, is, and it might be why you don't get promoted in American companies, you have to really listen to the feedback in the correct way, and you have to give the feedback in the correct way. So have you heard of this thing called American sandwich?
Yes. Yeah. You start from positive, negative, and positive.
Yeah. Yes, because I've talked to so many girls like our background. They're like, everyone told me only good things about my work, and I think I'm doing a great job. I don't understand. And I'm like, hold on a second. How exactly? What exactly? Like a verbatim do they tell you that? Well, he said that it's so amazing to have me here and I'm doing an amazing job. There was just one minor thing that was not so good, but overall, it is amazing. So, girl, you just got heavily criticized and you don't even know about it. Yeah, because that small, that small in between, that was the message.
Yeah.
Right?
Unfortunately, most of the people, they get confused with this nice, exciting feedback and just one thing, just fix it. And I'm thinking about, I'm sure you read this Conquer. I think it's the, I need to find the name of this book. Radical Canker.
Okay.
Radical Canker is I will find the author, but she was talking about that American culture is such a sweet and corporate world that most of the people, they get confused because it's international. And she is talking about be a canker, like being, like start with negative, like tell them exactly what happened, be the boss. So I was like, wow, even though it's on the, something that managers, they practice, but I think it's still not there. Like American culture more about like being more positive rather than telling the truth.
That's a good one. I think they're still telling the truth if you can listen, right?
Yes.
So it's just in our culture, like say and I think there's actually from two different cultures. And correct me if I'm wrong, because let's say for Russians, we're very direct, and I had to work on this so much because I think I'm still being called rude. I'm really working on it. I have softened. So always like we as Russians, we go like, you know what? This is not working. Go redo it. This is garbage. Like, and it's fine. It's fine. Like, okay, now we cannot change the past. Like, this is how we fix it. And in the US, if you say something like that, it will be perceived as aggressive.
Yeah.
It will be disrespectful. You will be labeled as a rude person. I'm telling you, you have to be very, very careful. So always start with the positive. And then, can you tell me a little bit more? Like, am I correct? You're coming from a different culture.
Yeah. Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan.
Is it different over there?
I think it's not. It's more like Russian style. Again, we had such a long time relationship like with Russia, right? And we grew up with Russian cultural literature and everything, like approach, and everything is very like, maybe right now it's changing, but now my generation still like more Russian. Okay. I would say we're like more softer version of Russian culture. We
Yeah.
do like we have a lot of impact being like straight telling, but we will be still like very soft. So the difference it will be like, for example, there is a bad news and we need to tell the bad news. We will think if it's like, is it gonna change anything, or if it's not gonna change anything. If it's not gonna change anything, they will be like, it's fine. We will not too much point out. And we have this expression. So my mom and my like grandparents, they were always bringing this up. So, for example, someone did something wrong, and they will be like, okay, if we judge right now, if we like make him feel so bad about his action, is it gonna help to this situation? It's nothing gonna happen. Like, it's someone's son, someone's daughter. Let's just forgive. Like, let's just say, okay, I don't want to ruin his life. And that's why we have a lot of we have a lot of corruption based on this, and that's why we don't have a lot of lawsuits, because people will like, okay, let's forgive him. And it's a good intention, but in the bigger picture, in the long run, it's not good. It's not healthy for the country, for the government, for everything. Like, because we don't have a law that works like strictly, like, here's how it's gonna happen. So people feel like, okay, something happened, let's just let it go, let it go, let it go.
And there is a lot of being let go.
Yeah.
In terms,
sorry. Yeah, I was just telling that the difference there is, but in corporate world, I would say, like, I came with this background that let's start with bad news. And I was seeking this from the company. Like, when you hear the bad news, it will like you tone up. You'll like, oh yeah, let's fix it. Because we're such as problem fixers. We love to have problems. But in the American culture, they don't like problems. They don't like talk about problems. They don't want to emphasize this. Like, and my first experience, I was like the one very careful, not being like too much, but I was like, here's the bad news. Where's the good news? We want to start with good news. I was reporting the data, like what happened with sales, and I used to start with bad news. That was like my approach. I thought that it's gonna stimulate. It will like bring us like strong. We will be like finding the solutions. We will be fight against this problem. I was like, and the team like this.
What?
I don't like this. I don't like that. Where's the good news? We want good news.
Where's my sandwich? So it's so right. It's all right. Like, I've seen it so many times, and I ask them, like, ask my American friends, like, why is that people don't want to discuss bad things? Like, my favorite example is like when I talk to Americans, and I explain to them, when in Russia we ask a question, how are you? We actually give an answer, and they laugh at it. And I was like, why y'all also like saying, how are you? I'm great, I'm good. If they said I'm okay, that means like they like the shit. So, and they explained to me that this is like part of friendship. This is the part of where you actually care about another person enough not to make them feel bad, I guess, or negative, and it kind of made sense to me. So in Russia or our cultures, we open up and we kind of build our relationships on like deep sharing. And after that, we would be more friendly, right? And in America, it's kind of the other way around. Like, first you get into a very friendly, like smiley, and this is how you get to know each other. So you get acquainted. And only later, if you're like besties, like even at work, you will be able to talk bad news, but you have to get to that level. It doesn't happen right away.
Now I'm thinking like, yeah, that's so true, because I have only like a few like local friends, few of them very, yeah, and they share a lot of bad news.
Yeah, because remember, like, how did it start? Did it
Yeah,
start with
yeah,
bad
they never
news?
share this. Like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I have this and broken, and then that's so
Uh-huh.
interesting. That's a good insight. That as close you get to the locals, and the better you have opportunity to hear. Like, here's what's happening in my
Real
life.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Like I have friends like that I can call my best friends, and yeah, they we talk just like in our culture. But to
yeah,
get there, yeah, that was a little bit of a
yeah. You need to work
uphill
hard.
battle.
So we get
Хорошо. All right.
stay kind, stay and understand the business itself. As you shared that if you work for corporate, business is business. They always want to achieve more with less resources, and how you can help with that. Understand self worth, like know like what do you and always use this any work like this time with working for the corporate as a self improvement, like enhancing your skills, growing, learning. If you're learning and you're not earning yet, then you can get another offer because you're worth, and you can get another opportunity. If you're just earning, then the question is like, what I can learn more, what I can do more, and stay honest with yourself. I think that helps a lot. It doesn't matter what's the culture when you're honest with yourself and you know like why you do what you do, and you see meaning behind of your work. You understand how the business works, and then you can thrive. It doesn't matter what's the culture and what's the communication style. Thank you so much for having me, and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Luba. Bye bye.